All right, so let's get started. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you for being with us. We are excited to get started and discuss some of the best practices and trends that are driving change within customer experience and customer relationship management space. So without further ado, let's get started within our presentation. So first of all, about us, my name is Harshjot Nijher. I've been working with the Solutions Metrix for more than 3 years now. I have a little bit more of a decade experience in business consulting, and I would like to introduce my other panelist at today's webinar, Thomas.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Thomas Stewart, Executive Vice President and Managing Partner here at Solutions Metrix. I have over 15 years experience leading digital transformation and change management initiatives across many industries, and of note recently been leading digital transformation in the customer experience and CRM space for our customers and partners.
Right, and we are very excited to be here with you to deliver the webinar. And one thing we both share is the client wow. We expect and we always strive to make sure our clients are wowed by the consulting and implementation services that Solutions Metrix provide. So Thomas, why don't you talk a little bit about what Solutions Metrix brings to the table?
Absolutely. So, you know, what many folks understand and appreciate in IT is that it is difficult. And the truth of the matter is that 50 to 70% of all CRM projects fail. And according to a Gartner survey, those projects resulted in losses or not in the improvement of company performance. It is often accepted that a system itself, you know, will bring the content and the strategic direction for marketing, sales, and service. However, a system can only map and structure the strategic content. It cannot create it. I think that's a very important factor that people need to realize is there's a strategy truly behind it, that CRM is but a tool. We still have to apply a strategy to get success. What you really need is the right implementation partner to build the right business plan and the right tools to implement the plan so that you can truly see year-over-year business growth.
So if I'm understanding, correctly, it is not just about a platform implementation, right? It's an end-to-end thought process about first building a plan, having a vision, building a plan, building a strategy, and then, doing the implementation.
Absolutely.
So Thomas, can you talk to us about, how Solutions Metrix can help in what we just discussed?
Absolutely. I mean, it's really why we're truly business consultants first. You know, we're experienced system implementers second. As technologies and markets evolve, your company must adapt. We're here to help you navigate, stay agile in this continuously changing landscape. When we look at CRMs and the limitation in usage, functionalities, and the results, they're rarely linked to the tools functionalities itself, but rather the lack of know-how, resources, previous implementations, bad habits, truly the change management side, not being aligned with the business goals. This is often because of those who manage the technological change internally, often serve as both technical developers and business implementers. Most organizations develop with the IT team and then hand it off to the end users, who are less technically skilled, but quite knowledgeable about their own areas of application. In practice, however, the users' organizations, are often not willing or able to take on the responsibility of the technology at the point in its evolution when the development group is ready to hand over the product. There's often a gap between IT and business, and that's where we really come in. We're here to fill that gap. We're here to help bridge the gap between IT and business, ensuring user adoption. I want to speak a little bit to, just very quickly, our methodology is specifically crafted to help with business best practices, platform selections, building strategic change roadmaps for implementing the best CRM solution to help you leverage and build and really adopt a customer-centric solution. Our implementations follow an agile framework, so really business objective focused, and we really focus around the innovation flywheel, so helping you be positioned to accelerate, to truly leverage what I like to call self-sufficiency in the application space and foster an ecosystem of change.
And this innovation flywheel, just want to spend another 30 seconds on it. It's really important for companies which are focused towards customer centricity. But you can't really innovate until you're able to run your operations in a more streamlined manner. So what this inception and implementation will help you to be in a position where from there onwards you can turn on the flywheel because all your daily operations are being handled in a much more efficient manner. So we'll go a little bit later into the innovation flywheel as well and how it contributes towards the overall customer experience. So Thomas, could you talk a little bit about our structure, solutions, metrics, how much what's our expectation?
Absolutely, and that's really where my forte is in the operations. We're currently a growing team of over 50 CRM professionals, highly focused in the customer experience space. We have seasoned solution architects, business and customer relationship management consultants, solution architects, system integration specialists, process specialists, workflow and communication automation specialists when we talk about marketing automation. And within this roster, we have over 400 projects delivered over the last 15 years of serving Canada and the United States, so across the Americas.
All right, and what kind of offerings can our customers expect to get from us?
Absolutely. So, looking at the wonderful titles in front of you, they're quite succinct and two-word titles, but what do they mean for you? So when we talk about CRM software implementation, we're really talking about sales, service, and marketing CRM tools implemented in order to achieve optimized customer experience. We're talking about change management and user adoption, the process to acclimate your internal teams to truly ensure proper usage and get the value out of the platform that you've invested so much time and dollars into acquiring. CRM platform training. So we're talking about training on how to get the best out of all of those billions of dollars of R&D that the platform providers have invested into leading platforms such as Salesforce, Microsoft, Sugar CRM, and Creatio. Our business consulting capabilities, truly around sharing our business and industry best practices. Support with application support, technical support, business support. And then again, we offer certain things such as custom apps and connectors on the multiple marketplaces of all of the industry leading platforms, or many of the industry leading platforms. So we really do have a complete business offering. Some people say to enable digital growth. I call it business acceleration. We really focus in helping you leverage tools to achieve business acceleration.
So all of this, how does it really tie to customer experience, right? And CX has been a buzzword in the market for a few years now, more than a few years. Today, it's really about talking, how does CRM help you in enhancing your CX to become a customer-centric organization? So Thomas, do you want to talk a little bit about what is CX for our people?
Absolutely. So customer experience is really covering the end-to-end of your interactions across multiple touch points with your client or prospective client, whether it be online, offline, face-to-face, as I like to call the bricks and mortar interactions. It's truly how well you know your customer and how well you're able to respond to their needs and or fulfill their prospective needs before they even get to it. So it's really the intrinsic knowledge of knowing your customer, and I really call it customer centricity. I apologize. Next slide. Sorry, my content is on the next one. So, when we talk about the number one differentiator in the customer space is truly CX. We're talking about customer loyalty. 73% of consumers, according to Salesforce, say they're likely to switch brands if a company is unable to provide consistent levels of service across channels. And that is very true. As per Forbes, the most customer-centric companies need to have a balanced approach across the 4 principles of customer experience, being innovation, environmentalism and sustainability, employee experience, and ultimately customer experience. And all of those 4 pillars are there to help foster a true culture of customer centricity or a customer-centric focused organization.
So Thomas, if we talk about CX specifically, which is customer experience within the overall realm of customer centricity, I think this has been going on around the industry for a while now, which makes people feel that yes, we understand that it is important, it is something that's critical to achieve success. So can you talk to me a little bit about what are some of the challenges to achieve customer success that the companies are facing these days?
Absolutely. And I mean, starting with the biggest challenges faced by companies, sourcing our services, and it's not just the bigger entities or the SMBs or the mid-market, it's really all organizations are facing the same challenges when it comes to digital transformation and technological innovation. I think some of the biggest challenges are really the disparate systems. So there's no centralized view or understanding of customers. People have their ERP, people have either a legacy CRM or a bunch of different Excel spreadsheets. They're less agile and responsive to changes in the market, due to the fact that they have siloed systems. Interdepartmental silos specifically, and ineffective processes and workflows. I think that's a big one with regards to interdepartmental communications. Sales knows what they sold to the customer, but service is not always sure what was sold. Marketing is not entirely sure what they bought or how best to get to them. Time wasted due to lack of automation is a huge aspect that is really a challenge in terms of CX. Automation is, the lifeblood of a business now. Lack of analytics or really modern business intelligence. So there's no data-driven analysis or strategies. And unfortunately, more often than not, IT is, I come from an IT background, so I'm saying this with a bit of tongue in cheek, but IT is behind the majority of these projects, causing delays in digital transformation. As businesses, we need to be less reliant on IT in order to innovate and grow, because truly the business knows what the business needs. And that's an aspect we'll discuss sooner, very, very shortly.
Mm-hmm. So understanding the fact that, we now know obviously CX is important, and looking at some of the challenges, I believe it would be a good time to talk about what are the best practices and trends that we can follow or we can utilize to improve customer experience. So I guess the start would be to talk about a real case scenario, right? So that we're not talking theory.
What does that look like?
Yeah. So what does that end state look like? Okay. So we did talk about three things, since we've started the webinar. One is customer centricity. The other one is customer experience. And the third one is customer relationship management. Okay. These three have to go hand in hand in order for companies to propel forward. So customer centricity obviously has four components, as Thomas did mention. One of them being customer experience, the other one being employee experience, the other one being innovation, and the fourth one being sustainability. That's something that really calls out a company that it is customer centric. And then CRMs as a strategy and as a technology is a driving factor to achieve customer experience. It is not customer experience. It will not, if you're thinking I'm going to get my CRM and I'm going to have my customer experience done, it's not going to happen. The CRM will help you get towards customer experience. It's one of the main pillars to achieving customer experience. So today we will talk really focused on this aspect of how can CRMs help you achieve customer experience. But if we take the case of USAA, which is United States Automobile Association, it's a Fortune 500 company. It has a focus towards serving military veterans and their family members, and it's based out of Texas, US. So the key points of their strategy, which enabled them, by the way, the case study is taken because they were recognized by Forbes as one of the most customer-centric organizations, and that is reflected in their NPS score. At 8.91, this is 4 times greater than the average in banking. So it is really doing something different than its competitors. It's obviously also regularly recognized for its innovative approach to banking and insurance, thinking outside the box, thinking outside in, looking at what your customers want to experience, and then providing those tailor-made services is where USA has really excelled from its market. And its mission is treating competitors like people, customers like people, not like numbers. How are they able to achieve it? It's easy said than done, right? A lot of companies want to do this, but how can they do this when you're talking large volumes, right? When you're talking B2C or large volumes B2B, how can you make sure your customers feel that they are people, not just numbers? Their employees are encouraged to take time to get to know the customers. The feedback is encouraged, and they have a clarity and value proposition. But today we're going to focus on the 2 highlighted areas in orange, which are more around the CX and the CRM space. So the base of all of this is giving your people the ability to identify each customer as an individual self, not as a number. And so we'll go a little bit deeper on what does that ability look like, what does that information look like, and how can organizations get to that point where they're able to treat their customers like people, and not like numbers. So USA has done it. There are a plethora of other companies that have done it. And we just want to make sure that, to our audience today, we help them visualize what that end state would look like and what are the key things that are needed to be done to be able to achieve that end state. Okay.
So that being said, Harsh, let's discuss some of the factors that are required in order to achieve a true customer-centric approach, or what we like to call customer experience success.
So we are going to today talk about 6 or 7 areas, which every organization should focus on, because happy employees is happy customers. Okay, we've heard it a lot of times, but how can you ensure happy employees? The second thing is, how can you really listen to the pulse of your audience and really act in a way that is truly benefiting your customers? Some of the other things are, how can you provide enough information and real-time information to your people at their fingertips so they can make informed decisions and quick decisions. Every decision should not have to go through multiple levels of validation when all the information is already available. How can you set up processes that can make sure that your onboarding cycles are reduced? If somebody new joins in, or if there are 10 different teams, how can they be brought into a coherent path to work towards delivering success? So all those factors we are going to discuss, but specifically we're going to focus on the CX flywheel, social and mobile, some cloud-based solutions. What do they bring to the table? Machine learning and AI has been a buzzword for a while, but we have a little bit of a different approach on it. Low code, no code, how can it enable businesses to propel their processes forward? And the last but not the least, the CRM integration.
So speak to me specifically about the customer-centric flywheel, which I think is really the innovation driver on how to achieve this.
So we've been customer-centric flywheel. Okay, we need to understand why it is called a flywheel. So it's depicted as a circle or a flywheel, emphasizing this is a closed loop, meaning it is going to go, in a cyclic manner. It's based on a customer-centric strategy that the key pillar is continuous feedback and optimization. As you can see here, you as a company don't have to start from a specific point. You can enter this flywheel at any point. For example, if you're at a point where you're launching a new product and you're trying to understand your competition, you can enter this flywheel from the point of understanding your competition. But typically, every time you're starting to launch something or you're looking at a company, from what it offers, you first need to understand your audience. Understanding audience would typically entail things like, what is the product that my people are looking for? How can I differentiate from the rest of the market? What are the ways my people want to engage with me? What are the things that they are saying about our organization that we need to work on, right? Understanding what your audience is, what their needs are, what their concerns are, what their desires are, will help you build the right product, and also will help you select the right CX technology that you need to make sure you're listening to your audience. So for example, if your business is more offline, you know what tools you need versus if it's purely online or digital, or if it's a mix of that. Okay, once you have the right technology in place, which is driven by what your audience desires, then you have the ability to listen to your customers. This can be listening in terms of website by having chatbots or connectivity to social. Social listening is basically when we identify keywords, when people are pushing posts on Facebook, Instagram, and talking about your organization, or enabling more communication methods such as messengers, such as emails, such as phone calls. So to be able to make sure you listen to your customer, and when you're listening to your customers, it's very important that you provide them with an omni-channel experience. And what is omni-channel experience? If I am calling an organization by phone or chatting with them on Facebook or sending them an email, I get the same kind of experience. One channel is not preferred over the other. So whatever my desire of communication is, I still get the same kind of experience from the organization. So that's really what means listening to your competition, listening to your customers. Once you understand your competition, now is the time to make continuous optimizations. Rome was not built in a day, no CRM is built in a day, no success is built in a day. You need to make sure that you're listening to what the audience needs, you're putting in the right pieces, but success might need multiple iterations. So that's where you need to be ready to say, okay, I'm going to optimize, continue to optimize till I get to the point where we need to get as a company. understanding your customer experience journey and the touch points, right? So if you're, let's say, a business based out of retail, there are retail touch points, there's online touch points, there's offline touch points, there's events touch points. So how are your customers getting in contact with your organizations is very important in order to purchase a product or a service, and what kind of experience you're providing them. What do they remember about you?
Can I take a moment to stop you there, Harsh? A lot of words, a lot of content, but I want to take a moment to pause between understanding the customer experience journey. And I think what is one of the most important outcomes of the customer-centric flywheel is the point you're about to touch on. And I want to make sure that our audience is listening in with regards to that next point, moments. Let's call it moments. So please, Harsh, continue. I just want to make sure that people heard a lot of words, but focus on these next few points, which will really drive customer retention, loyalty, satisfaction, and ultimate customer satisfaction.
All right. So one of the articles mentioned, like, what are we trying to sell? Is it a product? Is it a service? And some analysts say we are selling moments. It's moments which make people feel that they want to do business with you or not. Take an example of a phone call. You did a phone call. The moment you press the button of hanging up the call, the next 2 seconds, how did it make you feel about that call? How did it make you feel about that interaction? Did that leave a pleasant taste in your mouth, or was that just laborious and long, and the fact that you were happy it ended? That is what typically will decide you are going to go with that company or not for your services or products. So that moments are not easy to make. Those moments require a strategic thought process and a highly optimized process through multiple iterations. So creating those moments for every company is very important if you want the customers to go for your products or services. Once you've created those moments, once you've sold the product or you've delivered the service, it's important to make sure people or your customers feel they're still valued. Okay, and that's done by prioritizing your customer service. Like we spoke about, omni-channel experience, very important. Your customers need to feel that they're valued, they're listened, they're identified, they're not a number, and you as an organization take enough time and effort to help address their needs. And then the flywheel keeps coming along. You're looking at another service, another product, the whole flywheel keeps running. And at a point, you'll get to a point where this flywheel is just going to start spinning faster and faster, helping you get to where you need to be. But the core thing to take from here is it is a flywheel. It is a cyclic, innovation process that you will need to keep engaging on every now and then to keep improving your services for your customers.
Thank you so much for really elaborating on the customer-centric flywheel. Let's move on to the next topic, which is, what is social CRM?
Right. So when we talk about social itself, the whole point is, ability to open channels of communication so that you have more ways or more preferred ways to speak to your end customers. What does really social bring to the table? Brand loyalty engagement, understanding the fact that an average user spends anywhere between 2 to 2.5 hours a day on different social channels. This is a great opportunity or a great place to build your brand loyalty engagement. If you have a positive engagement on the pages, if you have, a positive reviews, if you're producing content that really meets, the needs of your customers from an information standpoint or from a product standpoint, you're starting to build some broad brand loyalty and engagement. Brand awareness. People need to know who you are. What's your story? What you're trying to sell? What's your mission? Things like that in today's generation take, have a big impact on people, when they're going to purchase a product or a service. Social listening to when you're getting a positive feedback, when you're getting a negative feedback. Some companies have really excelled at it. There is ways you can be quirky about your comments with your customers, that can generate a lot of buzz. Or really understanding when somebody is complaining about a product or a service and you're taking real-time action to address it, that really shows that you're concerned about your people and you're listening to their needs.
I think now more than ever, I want to make sure our audience realizes consciously, now more than ever, we really live in a social society where everything is public, everything is shared, opinions are generated, shared, debated all on social platforms. So if you don't have a social presence and you're not managing that social presence and how you are interacting on a social level with your clientele, you need to be doing that through a platform. It's not done arbitrarily.
Yeah.
I want to drive us in the interest of time over to, we've discussed social. Let's now discuss mobile or mobility. What is a mobile CRM? What does that mean?
Yeah. So like we said, it's also about, in order to get to a customer-centric organization, you need to equip or empower your teams to be able to deliver solutions or make decisions in real time. So what's the best way to do it? Your CRM or your systems need to be mobile responsive. Apps go much further in terms of usage than websites. Okay, it's much better for a sales rep or a customer service rep or a marketing rep to be able to use everything that they can do on their phone, make a quick decision, understand what the impact of the decision is, and then close sales faster, as you can see in one of the points. But more than that, you can also build some customer loyalty by responding to your customers in real time as well. Keeps teams connected. So as a sales rep, if I'm on the road, or if I'm in a place where I don't need to carry my laptop, I can stay connected to people. So if I'm on vacation, I can push my work to somebody else who can take care of the customer. Keep in mind, at the end of the day, the intent is our customers feel valued, and things like, I'm not in the office, so I'll not be able to help you, doesn't work anymore. If you're offering real-time help to your customers, customers do expect that. And if you'll not be able to give that, it's going to lead in customers, going towards your competitors. So enabling all the features that enable your teams to act in a more, faster way on mobile is really the way to go. And most of the CRM platforms do offer it, but that has to be one of the main considerations for you as an organization to see how many of my tools that my teams are using are mobile enabled. And that will really tell you how far you can go in delivering employee efficiency.
I'd really love to add a quick example of getting out of a sales call, or even just a customer success meeting, and getting into your car and not having to wait to get home or to the office to type up your notes or capture insights. But a lot of the no touch capabilities of modern CRMs, or the mobile capabilities, is able to take those notes, remind yourself of those insights on the fly. So stop in a hallway right after a meeting, take 3 notes, tag it to an account so that you don't forget. That I think is that low touch, low effort engagement will get the highest value. You'll get that user adoption and that user engagement.
Absolutely. And with mobile, you have abilities to also, take real-time photos, right? If you're passing by, there's a photo you can take and upload it directly to your CRM, or record an audio message, right? So those things, again, are all tailored to make sure you don't have to spend unnecessary time in data entry and really focus on the business.
Yeah. Absolutely. I want to touch on a really interesting topic, cloud-based CRM. In the days of on-premise, with regards to only specific, highly secure or highly sensitive information, but outside of those, I call them the legacy days, the age-old of, no, I don't trust my data being on the cloud. But let's be honest, I think cloud solutions are now much more protected and secure than on-prem installations. For the majority of, intrusion issues with businesses, they happen with on-prem installations. Let's talk about cloud-based CRM and how that could benefit our listeners.
Absolutely, Thomas. So when we talk about cloud-based solutions, they're basically called software as a service, widely known as that in the industry. The key thing to note here is it's hosted on the provider servers, so you are not investing a lot of costs and time and energy in building the back-end infrastructure, and it's accessed by its customers through the internet. Now, when your solution is accessible through the internet, it provides a lot more it provides a lot more than systems which are not accessible to internet. For example, integration with IoT. These days we want everything connected. Our doorbells are connected to our phones, our lights are connected to our phone. Everything in the house, we want it to be connected. The more connectivity, the more information you get. The more information you get, the better decisions you can make. And with the cloud-based solution, this integration with IoT becomes really easy to do. Other things like collaboration efficiency. You can connect to any of the cloud-based systems for collaboration, for example, social. It's out of the box, as we call it, with cloud-based solutions. It's more flexible as well and lower cost of ownership when you don't have to have a team to maintain all the backend servers and databases and performance and load sharing and all those heavy words associated with all the infrastructure work. That can make sure that you can use those people or that staff to invest with building a business solution versus just maintaining a platform. Information security as well. I mean, multiple papers have been published now that talk about how these cloud-based solutions have very strict measures to ensure information security versus those on-premise platforms. So just wanted to point it out. This is something to be considered when you're looking at a solution to obviously have the lower cost of ownership and make sure your solution can be more holistic in what it can connect to and what are the systems from which it can get information. A quick 15-second example, simple things like integration with LinkedIn. It comes out of the box in cloud-based solutions, right? So you're looking at a contact, you need to have a little bit more information of them. Click a button there, it goes from LinkedIn, fetches the information, because again, it's accessing everything over the internet. So getting information as well becomes much faster for a cloud-based solution. Something to consider for sure.
So now to move away from some of the more, let's call it the meat and potatoes or the drier aspect of the technology, let's go into AI and machine learning with regards to how that could really help with CX. And we're nearing the end of our presentation. There's 2 more slides that I really am looking forward to getting to right after this. But I'm sorry, I can't contain my excitement because I think that last slide that we're going to display is really going to provide a lot of the overall context and how to achieve a customer-centric approach. So please, let's touch on machine learning, I think, is really a big aspect.
Absolutely. Thanks, Thomas. So AI and machine learning, as you already are aware, has been in the market. Those words have been flying around here and there. But again, we are talking about customer centricity, customer experience, and CRMs. So how does this really fall into the realm of what we're talking about today? So AI obviously is a concept, as we all understand, to create machines that can stimulate human thinking capability, right? And obviously there are ways, there are algorithms that enable that. And machine learning is really an application or a subset of AI, that when you program or when you provide the algorithm will be able to do the work that you need to do. So it obviously falls under the bigger umbrella of AI and enables you to make decisions that are not linear. Okay, linear decision is something that we as organizations have been able to make until now with the help of tools that are already available. This is the ability to make decisions that are not that straightforward, which have more than one construct that will go into have a decision at the end of the day. So that's where the AI comes into picture, and it understands the fact that decision making is not just a linear process. It involves different factors, which when computed properly will be able to give a decision which may not be the correct one, but which is the most logical one. At the end of the day, obviously, I don't think so. I'm of that group that that still doesn't believe AI can fully replace humans. At the end of the day, you still want a human, but a human with all the information collated in a way that can help you drive to an informed decision would be able to make a better decision than somebody who does not have the information or the ability to see the trend to be able to make a decision. So that's where AI kind of fits into the picture. And some of the details around that, how does it really play into the CRM space, right? One of the first examples is virtual assistants, again, in the industry leading CRMs, that we actually implement with respect to Creatio, Microsoft Dynamics, Salesforce. The ability of virtual assistants is a big one. So what is a virtual assistant? Let's say you are in the sales team, you're working on 10 different opportunities, right? And you said, let's say these opportunities will flow in the next quarter, right? Now, understanding the fact that you need at least, let's say 8 to 10 activities to close an opportunity, and it hasn't moved the stage, virtual assistants can guide you as a sales rep to say, hey, I know you're super busy, but please make sure you look at this specific opportunity. You haven't touched it in 3 weeks. It's a hot opportunity. Why don't you attend it? So really being an assistant, in a way of the sales rep to make sure they can focus on things that they sometimes might ignore. Smart segmentations as well. Again, going to the concept of no longer linear approach. Yes, it's common to do segmentations based on age, based on gender, based on region, based on preference. But smart segmentations are based on historic trend combined with the location, combined with the IP. Now we're going a touch higher or a touch further in how we can segment our people to really understand what is our target audience and how we can approach them. So that's where these smart segmentations come in. Again, machine needs to be trained by a human. Okay, we need to understand as a business, what do we want to do, what are the different segmentations that we want to put in place, and then this can be a tool to help us provide those segments. Keep in mind, CRM is not going to provide you with answers. CRM is a tool that will provide you with ways to get the answers to the questions that you have. Streamlined and automated processes, again, looking at things like next best product, based on your geographical location and where you are, with your age and with your family income, what could be the next best product that I can offer you, right? Those kind of offerings, more streamlined offerings, can be provided by machine learning and AI to the sales reps or to customer service reps as well. Resource management, looking to balance the workload of people. How often have we heard this? I'm super busy, I don't have time on my plate, or I'm drowning in work, right? So with the use of machine learning and AI, we can really take care of our people, take care of our employees in a way where they feel that we're looking after them. And if they are too busy with their workload, provide even recommendations and alternatives to the managers to say, hey, this resource is with the same skill set and in the same geographic region, why don't we assign these 3 projects to them to make sure everybody has a manageable workload? And if not, then the management can take a decision on maybe reducing the workload for some of our people. And predictive analysis and decision making, to wrap it up, again, going back to, are you able to decide based on just instinct, or instinct plus some data that is driven by the historical trends, right? So that's something where machine learning and AI can really help your employees make smarter decisions to serve your customers, and our customers feeling that you really understand what they need, or you really know what they mean. Obviously, it can also it's not 100%, but it does provide you a greater chance of success with going into a conversation or going into a meeting with no background context and information.
Absolutely. I think, to use a quick example with regards to predictive analysis and decision making, we can think of a customer service use case with regards to case resolution and case management. Everyone in the service department wants to ultimately close cases as soon as possible, move on to the next one, so we can satisfy our customers' requests or any open issues with regards to SLAs. Well, this is where machine learning and the right setup of tools and technologies can help you make informed decisions, provide prescriptive resolutions based on hundreds, if not thousands, of past resolutions. So it allows you to make better decisions faster. That's ultimately the goal. Moving on, just a last thought on machine learning. We just need to move forward one slide. Harsh, what do you think? Where do you think AI is taking the industry, or taking business right now when it comes to the CRM space?
As we understand that decision making is a complex process, and we as business leaders or business managers or anybody on the business line don't have enough time to do all the analysis to make that decision, the industry also, because of its increasing competition, is jumping on it, and as a result, the estimated improvement in business productivity is anyway going up, but it's expected to expand at 42% CAGR, which is compound annual growth rate, during 2028 to 2024, and it's expected to keep going at this pace. So if you and your organization are not yet on that path to start thinking about machine learning and AI, it might be a good time to start thinking and considering AI and machine learning in some of your decision making enablers. Not so much decision making, but enabling those decisions.
Thank you so much, Harsh. I know you've been speaking at length, but here comes really, I want to call it the meat and potatoes, or the cherry on top of the sundae. The next 2 slides, if I had to ask our audience to keep 2 slides as the parting gifts, or the parting insight that we can impart them with in terms of knowledge of our experience in the CRM space and driving customer experience thought leadership. We're talking about CRM strategy, we're talking about CRM as a tool, but but I think we're ultimately talking about achieving the golden standard. I think that is really the main focus, is achieving that golden standard in the customer 360. So would you mind maybe enlightening some of our audience on what that really means and what that looks like?
Absolutely. So I wanted to have these two terminologies here because I've been in this space for a little more than a decade. But one thing that strikes me is the understanding of the greater community around CRM. It's often looked as a tool first and then a strategy. CRM tool will not provide you with solutions or answers or fix our problems. A strategy, however, is what is going to fix your problems. The companies that don't have a CRM tool doesn't mean they don't have CRM. They do customer relationship management. They do have a strategy. That strategy is based on other products which are not CRM products. So at every company, it's very important you do have a CRM strategy that then drives the implementation and optimization of your CRM tool itself. What is a CRM strategy? Simple, a strategy to manage your customers to enhance their experience engaging with your company. Customer relationship management strategy. How am I going to sell? How am I going to serve my people? How am I going to market my people? How are my internal operations with respect to ordering and invoicing and quotation process? What does it look like, and how can I look outside in to help making decisions which impact my customers? That all comes under the realm of CRM strategy, and that's why implementers or system implementers need to be focusing on first helping customers building a CRM strategy with them if they don't have one, or refining it based on the best practices, and then bringing a CRM tool, either a Salesforce, Creatio, Sugar Dynamics, whatever tool we bring, as a business tool, because now it's aimed towards solving a business need, a business strategy, to tailor to optimize customer experience. Okay, without a strategy, a tool will not result in solutions that we are looking for. Yes, these tools are built on some of the industry best practices, the sales cycle or the customer service cycle, but every company is different, right? They have their secret sauce, they have their different processes. If those are not understood first, the tools will not be able to help you. So it's important for us to differentiate between a CRM strategy and a CRM tool. Now, once the CRM strategy is in place, what should our CRM be looking like? Should it be looking like a sales tool, or should it be looking like a 360-degree view of our customers? So that's something we're going to be discussing next.
Well said, Harsh. Very well said. So here's the illustrious or highly sought after golden standard. If we want to discuss an ideal end state for what your tool and strategy when combined would look like, this is what we see. This is what we strive to achieve with our partners, our clients, our customers. This is really where we want to end up.
Yeah, and this is either called 360-degree view or a top-down view of your customers. A top-down view is really important for you as a company to know who your customers are, and not just from a department standpoint. So what does it look like? It looks like an aggregated, consistent, and holistic view of purchase histories, upsells, cross-sells, replenishment, services, preferences and interests, some personalized content, what kind of recommendations have been given to them, contact details, obviously, to follow up, what kind of guarantees have been provided to them, additional details more than just their demographic information. How have we communicated with them? When have we communicated with them? What kind of activities have we done, not only on the sales side, but on the marketing side, on the customer service side? So when I, as a representative of the company, goes to meet this customer, I have all this background so I can really have an intelligent conversation with our customer. Second is integrations. Like we said, CRM standalone, it would be hard for you to provide the value that you need, because we understand the fact that there are e-commerce platforms, which talk about how the buying journey is, ERP tools that you have, for the financial information, for the resource information. You have website, you have social, you have third-party softwares, you have chatbots. The whole point is CRM being the engagement layer that helps drive any interaction with the customer by providing access to your resources about the information in a way that they can quickly look at the information and make decisions, right? And for that, integrations has to be a part of it. So there is obviously information that's in CRM, that's probably system of truth, as we call it, is CRM. Then there are different systems which provide what we call it associated information about a specific customer that is then accessible within the platform. And then on top of it comes processes, because what you're going to do with all the information if you don't know what processes to follow, right? Some of the out of the box processes are lead management, which talks about MQL, SQL, HQL, sales to support, the full life cycle of a customer, training processes, recruitment processes, some account management processes, case management processes, right? So those processes help you deliver a consistent experience. No matter if you've been at a company for 10 years or 2 years, doesn't matter. You know, what do I need to do to give a consistent experience to my customer based on the information that I get from either, what is already in CRM or the integrations that result, resulting in a way where you can acquire and track faster, you can increase the loyalty and retention of your customers, and you can enhance your experience with your customers and engage them in more targeted and relevant conversation. So from a process standpoint, if you were to implement something like a CRM, obviously at the top comes the strategy. Okay, that is the first thing before you start implementing a CRM. What is the strategy? What is your marketing, sales, service strategy? Then from an implementation standpoint, first comes the UI. Okay, you need to understand, what do I need to see as an information? Integration, where do I connect my CRM platform to get the information that I need? Processes, how am I going to use this information to drive the processes that I want to drive within the organization? And then the last is analytics. You need to know how you're doing as a company. You need to be able to getting that real-time information, so you can say, hey, these 3 initiatives that I did were working great, these 2 are not. What can I do to fix this? Gone are the days, where you had to build report that would take a week to build. You need real-time dashboards. You need real-time information to make real-time decisions. So that process flow is something that we call as an ideal state for a CRM implementation. And that information that you see on the screen is what we call as the ideal end state that we strive to make sure is implemented for all our customers.
Very insightful. I thank you very much, Harsh. I mean, at least for me, but I hope everyone that's watching and listening has gotten some valuable insight out of this. Now, using the CRM, what does that truly deliver? What do we hope to achieve, or what have we seen in terms of the net benefit of the ideal use of a platform and a tool with a well-managed strategy?
Correct. Absolutely. So again, I want to reiterate the fact CRM is not CX. Okay, CRM is one of the main pillars to drive CX. So that's why there was a Capterra study, that was done, and 47% of the people, suggested that they had improved customer satisfaction after implementation of a CRM platform that was based on a CRM strategy. Very important. They also saw an improved customer retention, increase in sales revenue, and improved cross-selling and upselling, because you're making intelligent calls, you're making more informed decisions, informed conversations. So that overall helps company drive towards a better customer experience, which at the end is helping you go towards a model where you can be recognized as a customer-centric organizations. And it's no surprise to me or you or anybody else on the call that companies who are more customer-centric have higher NPS scores, have higher social liking, and as a result do better in the industry than their competitors. So I hope Thomas and I were able to shed some light on what do we need, or what are some of the practices that you can follow to enhance your customer experiences by implementing a CRM platform. But at this point, we'll open the floor to any questions that you may have, and we'll be happy to answer them.
So we already have received just a few questions. In the interest of time, I'm going to pick the first one that came through. How can a CRM help you better understand the pain points in our organization when it looks towards customer experience?
Okay, so everything starts in my opinion, it starts from a top-down strategy. Okay, you as an organization, before finding the symptoms, we need to find what's the ideal state and look at what the core issues are. And that all starts from, again, if I am the one who's responding to it, it starts from a top-down strategy. You need to understand who your audience is, how you want to attend them, and what are they looking for. Now, once the top-down strategy is built, then you start building tactics around that strategy. Okay, in order to achieve this, what are some of the specific tactics that I'm going to follow? And what CRM does enable you to do is it gives you visibility. Okay, for example, let's talk about the sales process, right? In your sales process, let's say you have 4 stages, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's realized after some sales that have been done that process 3, which was a quotation stage, is a bottleneck in the process. Now, CRM will just provide you this information. It's not going to solve it for you, right? And then you as a business are going to say, okay, why is this stage a bottleneck? Either there is lack of resources to make a decision, or we don't know the pricing structure of our organization, or people don't know what kind of templates to send, or our people don't know the exact steps followed to the process. But then you start as a business introspecting and digging into what can be the issues here. CRM is there to sound an alarm, when things are not going as per your CRM strategy that you build top down. It will not solve it. It will highlight the issues to you, which then you as a business are going to go in and solve it. Often what happens is we can see the fire, but we don't know where it's coming from. All CRM does is provides you with a finite area as to this is where the fire is coming from. Now you go in and figure out how you can solve it.
Thank you very much. I hope that answered the question for the member of our audience that submitted it. I have a few more questions, and we have a few more minutes left. Can you integrate your market research and survey data into a CRM?
Absolutely. So again, you need to know what kind of tools, we need to know what kind of tools you're using. However, the industry leading CRMs, and I'll name 3, Salesforce, Microsoft, and Creatio, they have inbuilt marketing automation platform, which enables you to do surveys, which enables you to do quiz, which enables you to do events, and so on and so forth. And all the data that's there is already residing in your CRM. So you don't even have to bring that data into your CRM. So it's already integrated within your CRM system. So that's the beauty of these platforms, that enable you to get the 360-degree view right at the beginning of the process and not having to integrate at the end. However, if you have platforms, where you're getting your survey data or your market research data and you're looking to integrate into CRM, and which if it's not integrated, then there are different tools that are offered by modern day CRMs, for example, regarding data duplication, data identification, data matching, so on and so forth, from which you can make sure that your data as it goes into the CRM is still matched with whatever criteria that you are defining. For example, one of the main criteria used to be email address, right? It's assumed that not 2 people can have the same email address. So that used to be one of the key identifiers, making sure the information that's coming from outside is linked to the right person in CRM. However, with time and with more digitalization, there are now companies that started using combinations of information to make sure the right information can be tracked to your right contact or account inside CRM. So long answer short, there is systems. If you're starting new, you don't even need to bother looking outside. Your CRM systems have a marketing automation engine built in it. But if you already have all this information, there are a lot of innovative ways that can be used to import the data in CRM without breaking all your existing data.
Thanks so much, Harsh. I think we only have time for one last question before we log off. I'm not sure if I read Canna or how do you, I'm not quite sure it was written. It just says CRM to track website data to provide visitor insights. I'm assuming it's can a CRM track, or how would a CRM track website data? Let's take our spin on what that question may be exactly.
Okay, so maybe what you're referring to is, what were my website, something what Google Analytics does, right? What were my website visits? What were my clicks? What was the heat map? Where are the people coming from? These information, yes, can be integrated within CRM because the marketing automation engine of CRM does provide the ability to link to Google Analytics if you're already in place, and then bring that data into CRM. Obviously, we all understand that this is not data that you want to use to segment to individual customers. This is data that you're going to use to more identify the trends, right? Around what time during the week are my websites visited more often? What are the different regions where more of my public is coming from, right? Those kind of aggregated data sets that you get from these website visits, or so on and so forth, so that you can make decisions about either where am I going to sell the product more, or when am I going to do my press releases, and so on and so forth, to identify some trends. So I don't know if that clearly answered your question, but if your question was around the website visits and website engagement bringing into CRM, absolutely, all the industry leading CRMs have the ability to do that. Again, I go back to the previous point. You need to have a strategy to say, what do I need to track? When do I need to track? How do I need to track? And why do I need to track? Once you have those answers, CRM system or a tool can provide you that aggregated information inside, and moreover, analytics around that. Using AI and BI, you can identify either trends or make business decisions with that data that's provided to you.
Thank you so much, Harsh, for answering the questions. I hope our audience had their questions answered in time. There's a few last remaining, but we just don't have the time. We'll go to the last slide just to share our contact information. Again, you registered, so we will be reaching out to you. We will be sending out this deck to anyone that did register. If you would like to, review some of the information, share some of the insight with any of your colleagues. I thank you very much for your time. Thank you again, Harshjot, for joining. You really are one of our top resident subject matter experts. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me on this webinar. Thank you all for attending. Hopefully we'll be speaking with you again soon. Have a wonderful day.
It was a pleasure having the opportunity to speak, and hope to talk to some of you soon.
Thanks so much.